customers through the door. I just want to bring in Stuart. You work for a sales and lettings company. It won't be as immediate, will it, the uptake in your industry?
No, I think ours is a slightly different position. And of course, a lot of our business doesn't happen face-to-face, happens online, particularly at the initial stages. So the big change for us is being able to get out, do viewings, see clients and do market appraisals, albeit subject to some pretty tight deadlines, so some guidelines issued by the government.
So what sort of conversations are you having to clients who call and say, right, I want to view some properties today? How do you sort of cushion the impact of what that viewing is going to be like?
Well, we've first of all, we've produced a written procedure. So we send out the Fisher German interpretation of the government advice so that they can read it, and that's for their benefit as well as for ours. We're trying to encourage people to do our virtual viewings as much as they can. So, we can give people a video tour of the property. They can see most of the things they need to before going. So a lot of people will go to a property and then quickly decide it's not for them. So if we can cut the number of visits that way, then that's a really good first start. But I think the most important thing is we have to really look at it on a case-by-case basis, talking to our clients, because regardless of the government guidance, our clients all feel very differently about it. Some are pretty gung-ho and want viewings to start this morning. Others are scared, I think is probably the word. They want to ease themselves into it and are not keen to see people come and visit, which clearly makes our job rather difficult.
Yeah, these are big changes for people who've been sat at home feeling anxious for the past few weeks. And tell me this, you've furloughed nearly a quarter of your staff. Do you foresee bringing them back in it over the next few weeks, or do you think it will be too slow a process?
Yeah, we will definitely be bringing people back. I think it's difficult to say at what rate. The government announcements have been incredibly helpful for all sorts of businesses, not just estate agents, but it make a massive difference in terms of keeping those unemployed numbers down, and the phasing of that from August through to October will be a massive lifeline, because there's, for us it's very difficult to say how quickly the market will pick up. One of the difficulties is we've actually been logging hundreds of viewing requests over the last 50 days or so, so they're all queuing up and need to be done, so we need to get people back to do that. But the furlough arrangements allow us to bring people back swiftly, but they've got to come back full time, so we need to make some careful decisions on numbers and speed.
There are two schools of thoughts on how the market's going to react. Some think, okay, there'll be lots of steam behind it because people are wanting to view properties, they're wanting to buy as they did back in February and March. But others are arguing that perhaps the bottom's going to fall out because those who were in a position to buy might not be anymore. What's your take on that?
Well, it's clearly stalled. I don't think the bottom will fall out of the market. It's interesting. I can only speak for the Fisher German stats, but we've only 3% of our sales have fallen through in the last 50 days, and I think that's pretty consistent across all of our competitors as well. Now that figure will probably rise a little bit as people sort of unlock out, and a few extra deals might fall through. But we see most of the current transactions will remain in place. So, lawyers have got to get those across the line, and there's been obviously delays from getting everything from local searches to organising removal. So there's going to be a time lag in the market, but I generally see that the market will be slow. We'll see transactional volume, nothing like the rates that we would normally see for the second half of the year. But I think there'll be a willingness to do it. And earlier on, there was discussion about bank lending, and of course the prognosis for bank lending for the next few years is probably very good in terms of rates, albeit there's quite a lot of mortgage products have been withdrawn from the market. I think that will keep the market relatively stable.